I've definitely had to let go of preferences. And so now I have a different preference. My preference, so I don't do political, visual, in-group, cultural, literary preferences. Now what I do is the people who have proven that they believe that it can be done. That's who I align with, and I trust if they've been through the fire, then they have some thread of what needs to be carried forward in the future. And where, I'll be honest, some of it looks nuts to me.
Right.
But that's not for me to decide. What for me to decide is, okay, this is what I think in the piece that I wrote, I don't align horizontally anymore, I align vertically. And it's so interesting when that shift happens, because you realize that people you really liked are still living in the it can't be done endless complaint consciousness, and that's just a consciousness.
Until the question the question becomes, well, it must be done, so how are we going to do it, right?
That's exactly.
So, and I think that's where you can't move, is where you need to be. And
That's
so,
it. That's so good.
So if you have to be there, then, who said this? If you can't be free, be a mystery. But,
I've never heard
I think it was bell hooks or something.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, if, you have to then create that freedom. Like you're not going to go anywhere. There's nowhere you can go. They've got you boxed in. So then, all right, let's make a room out of this. Let's make a garden out of this.
That's right.
Start serving people out of this.
That's right. And they took, if you look at who was canceled, it's the most irrepressible, insubordinate, can't stand any kind of mental, physical confinement, and put the thumb down on us. Because I had to find another way. I tell the story when I was in a Bikram class. It was 116 degrees. I thought I was going to die in front of the mirror. I was sure I was going to die, and all of a sudden it hit me. I have one choice, and that is to find some place deep inside and rest my consciousness in there, because I'm too prideful to lie down and just for the class and then do the class from there. And I'm too prideful. I mean, it's...
Oh, you mean when it gets hot in the room and you don't want to move? Yes. And they tell you not to leave? Yes.
That's it. And so
I've been in there,
too prideful to let anybody's antipathy affect me. I refuse. I refuse to let vitriol or name call or any of those things, any of those projections impact me. So I have to find a place deep inside that is immune to that. But that's the fear, I think, of static society, is that people will find that place.
Right.
Because once you find that place, you can't be controlled. But here's the thing they don't know. The ones who are afraid, what they don't know is you can't be controlled because you're so in alignment with what in Buddhism is called the Dharma, nature, the truth, loving kindness, care. You're so in alignment with that nobody can move you or shake you. And so you're actually where all of their morals and ethics and rules and legislation try to control everyone into being, you make it to the place that's where you live. Right.
It's interesting because I think it was Nelson Mandela, and they were asking him, why do you really think they let you out, right? What was it? It was some kind of backroom deal. And he was like, I think I had just gotten so at home in the prison that I was setting a bad example for the rest of the prisoners.
That's it. I know, that's it.
It's like, oh, we can't have you in here. You're like, you're enjoying this too much. So,
I know. Yeah. That makes, in my cosmology, you have to take great care. You have to, again, this is one of those double-edged swords. So you have to project into a future so that you're not at the mercy of anything. So you have to project into the future, imagine it, look at everything you need, imagine yourself happy, start creating the conditions to be happy inside of that, and then you have to let go of that and not ever focus on it again.
Wow.
And so, because otherwise you're creating it. There's a certain outcome, obviously, I don't want to create, but that I have to be prepared for in order to not live in fear of it, or my fear will create it.